7 mistakes that are ruining your singing. I've been teaching since 2003. I've been singing since 1999. I've sung all over the world and I have taught thousands of people. I have personally taught hundreds of people. I was a lecturer, a music lecturer in colleges for 10 years. I was head of music for 6 years, and I still perform, and I have helped thousands of singers in lots of different ways, including this YouTube channel. And what I'm going to share with you are common mistakes that I have seen hundreds and hundreds of singers making. And if I include singers on stage as well, that would be thousands. So that includes singers who are just starting out and singers who have been singing for a long time who are not trained. So these are people who have been training themselves, who haven't had any lengthy official vocal training with a qualified, trained and experienced vocal coach. And so to help you to avoid these pitfalls, I'm going to share them with you in this tutorial. Mistake number 1, trying to sound and sing like the original singer of a famous song. So let's take a song by someone like Billie Eilish, or Christina Aguilera, or Jessie J, or Ariana Grande, Jade, any of the current singers who are very good. Now, if you try to sound and sing like them, what you're trying to do is imitate years of professional vocal training, and you haven't had any lengthy, when I say lengthy, I mean around about 2 years, possibly more, of proper vocal training. It's going to be very difficult for you to imitate and sound like a professional singer. And what I mean by that is there are going to be things that they do with their instrument, subtle things, very, very nuanced ways of singing that you're not going to be able to understand how they're making these sounds. And that leads me very nicely on to mistake number 2 that is possibly ruining your singing voice. Adding vibrato. When most people add vibrato, they do it with their voice. Vibrato is that kind of wavy sound. Ah. I think I said they do it with their voice. What I mean is they try to do it with their throat. Ah. And it comes out kind of sheepy, goaty, but what it also means is that you don't have any control. So you don't have control over the vibrato, and you don't have control over your voice overall. Don't try to do everything all at once. If you're trying to sing breathy and add vibrato, or if you're trying to sing with power and add vibrato, or if you're trying to sing with power and do riffs and runs and melisma all at the same time, and you haven't learned how to do them separately, it really slows down your singing and it actually impedes your progress. So learn one thing at a time and learn the foundations and then build on those. Don't try to do everything all at once. Singing mistake number 3. I can say that 95% of singers who have ever come into a singing lesson with me do this, and I see a lot of untrained established singers, some of whom are actually professional, but I see lots and lots of people doing this, lots of people who have been singing for a long time, and that is over singing. What I mean by that is putting too much effort into singing, and again, it means that you lose control. So let's take a ballad. Something that I teach a lot is the Celine Dion song from Titanic. Can't remember what it's called right now, but near, far, wherever you are. You don't need to put that much effort into it. I lost control there. You don't need to put that much effort into it. You don't need to oversing. And I see a lot of swooping and adding flips and all this other stuff that you really don't need. Near, far, wherever you are. I'm overdone it there, but you can hear that it sounds ridiculous, okay? You don't need to put that much effort into it. The effort at first will be in the concentration that it takes to get the techniques, to understand what you're supposed to do with your voice, to establish it and to maintain it at first. Then it becomes easier and all you're then doing is preparing. But the effort shouldn't be in the delivery, shouldn't be in the way that you sing. So for something like that, I still can't think of what the name of that song is, but near, far, wherever you are. I don't need to go wherever you are. You don't need to do that, okay? As I said just now, start at the start, step by step, learn the foundations. When it comes to adding power, learn the projection techniques and use the projection techniques rather than trying to do everything all at once. Over singing, you don't need to put as much effort into singing as you think. It actually only takes the same amount of effort as talking. So if you feel like when it comes to, actually using your voice, if it feels like you're putting more effort into creating the sound when you sing than you do when you're creating sounds when you speak, then you're putting in too much effort and you're over singing. Okay, the next one is more common than you might think. Bad posture. Now, you might have seen some people who look really good on stage, when I teach my singers the correct posture for learning how to sing and for practicing. And that's straight, okay? Shoulders back, relaxed. Not like a soldier, and you certainly don't want to, when you're learning, you don't want to be kind of standing like this and definitely not like this, all right? Bad posture contributes to a lot of poor breath control, a lack of control overall, and poor stage presence. So if you want to stand in a certain way, if you want to stand like with your hand in your pocket, learn how to sing using the correct posture first. If you're someone who moves a lot, I've taught a couple of people who like to make jerky movements when they sing. That's just the style that they like. But they didn't have the control. When we calmed them down and they were able to stand with the right posture and learn the right ways to use their voice, then they could add the kind of strange movements, just the same as if you're a pianist. If you're a pianist who is quite flamboyant, you wouldn't start by being flamboyant, okay? You would learn your scales first. You learn how to play properly, and then you add the performance to it. And it's the same with singing. Learn the basics first. I keep going back to this. I can't over-iterate this. I don't know if that's even a word, right? I don't know if those words go well together grammatically. Anyway, you know what I mean. Learn the basics first. Learn the foundations. Add the pretty stuff later. Singing mistake number 5, incorrect placement. Placement means where you are placing the sound, where you're creating the resonance to create a specific sound. Now, this really goes, it's all types of singing: soft singing, breathy singing, speaky singing, powerful singing. If the sound isn't placed in the right place, I don't know how else to say that. It's not put in the right place, directed into the right area to create the right resonance, to create the right sound. That is when you're going to strain your voice. So even if you're singing softly, if you're not doing it in the right place, so for example, if you use your throat to control your singing when you're singing softly or powerfully, but even if you're singing softly, you're going to create problems, you're going to create bad habits that it then takes longer to unravel than it would if you were to learn the right techniques in the first place. So, placement. All of the things that I'm talking about, I do cover in my 30-day singing challenge. The 30-day singing challenge is available inside the Singing Genius Club. That's my online membership, and it will be available as a standalone course. Right now, if you're watching in June of 2025, you will be able to find it inside the Singing Genius Club. All you need to do to get involved is to go to the pinned comment or the description. Now, in the Singing Genius Club, you will not only get the 30-day singing challenge, you will also get access to my now expired 5-day singing challenge. It was here on YouTube. It's not in YouTube anymore. You can only get that in the Singing Genius Club, or as a standalone course. But if you join the Singing Genius Club, you'll get the 30-day challenge and the 5-day belting challenge. You will also get the 5-day vocal control challenge. Plus, you get other members' exclusive tutorials. You get a library of ad-free tutorials. Plus, a bonus is you also get a discount on any private singing lessons that you take with me, and you also get a discount on any singing boot camps. So those are all day, some of them are 2-day boot camps. You get a discount and you get first access to tickets for those live boot camps with me. So that means you can spend a full day with me or 2 days with me. On top of all of that, your second bonus is that once a month, the second Monday of every month, apart from August, you will get to spend an hour with me. I would on a masterclass. You get to ask any questions that you have, and we also have a members hot seat, so you can book yourself in the hot seat. That means that you can ask me anything about your own singing. You can sing for me and I can give you instant feedback. These are live masterclasses. I'll give you instant feedback. I'll give you advice and guidance specifically for your voice to help you move forward and progress with your singing. So if you want to get involved in that, go to the pinned comment or the description, hit the link there, and I will see you inside the Singing Genius Club. Singing mistake number 6, choosing the wrong songs. So what does this mean? It means choosing songs that are out of your range or in the wrong key, or that are too difficult for the level of singing that you are at that time. Range means the lowest and highest notes that you can sing. So it could be from here to here, it could be from here to here. So you could have a small range, you could have quite a good range, quite a big range, or you could have a ridiculously large range. It doesn't matter, okay? Doesn't matter what your range is. What you want to do is choose songs that fall within that range. So you don't want songs that go too low for you to sing and too high for you to sing. That's different to the key. If the key is wrong, what will happen is that some of the notes will be too low for you or too high for you. But if you change the octave, that means that they will still be either too low or too high for you. That means that it's the wrong key. You need to change the key. I do have a video about how to find your key, and I explain this in more detail in that video. So I will link that in the description. Let me just make a note of that. Make sure that you're choosing songs that are in the right key for you, that are within your range, and that are at the level of difficulty that is very slightly above where you are now. So it's comfortable to sing, but there are a couple of areas that are a little bit challenging, and that will stretch you and will progress you, rather than trying to go from complete beginner to Beyonce or Freddie Mercury, my go-tos. Mistake number 7. This might come as a surprise to some people. Singers are very bad listeners. Musicians in general, we should be the best listeners, but musicians in general are not very good listeners, and they have to learn how to actively listen properly. And the reason is that we just love music so much. We just want to do music, and it's the same with singing. We just want to sing. We just want to get the sound out. Singing is good for our souls, okay? If you're not listening to the music, a few things can happen. You could be in the wrong key. You could be singing at the wrong tempo. You could be singing the wrong rhythm. You could be singing the wrong style. Now, if you're someone who goes to jam sessions, it's actually really good for singers to go to jam sessions, because you learn how different people play music in different situations. So if you're used to using a backing track and you always use the same backing track when you sing, if you go to a jam session, it sounds very different with live instruments, even if it's just a guitar. In fact, especially if it's just a guitar, because you're only hearing one thing. If you're in a band situation and you're not listening to the music and someone's playing wrong, you're not going to know that they're playing wrong, and often they don't either. So if you've got lots of people who don't listen, it can create a cacophony. And I've seen this on stage lots of times, where when one person or maybe two people on stage are thinking, this is not going right, and they're unsure, and everyone else is oblivious, just happily playing along with like someone with an out of tune guitar and the drummer playing the wrong drum pattern or something. I've seen it a lot, and it's not a good thing. If you're an established band and this happens, it's not good. If you're a beginner, it can happen, but if you're listening, you can learn from your mistakes, and that's fine. So making sure that you're listening to everything that's going on, and also what it also means is that you're not always relying on one part of the music. So if you always listen to the guitar for the key, I actually listen to the bass for the key. If you're always listening to the guitar for the key or the keyboards for the key, and then one of them isn't in rehearsal one time, you're going to come unstuck because you're not going to be sure where you are, where you're supposed to sing. Bottom line is, very, very important to listen to the music when you sing, and also watch the crowd, interact with the crowd. So that's a bonus. When you're performing, making sure that you're interacting with the crowd. Some people sing like this, and all right, yeah, it's, oh yeah, they're really into the music. Yeah, they're into the music. Be into the crowd. They've come to watch you perform. Be into the crowd. Remember, if you want to become part of the Singing Genius Club, go to the pinned comment or the description and hit the links there. I'll see you soon. See you in the next tutorial. Stay hydrated. Ciao!